Where the heck did that machine go last night? No, not you. Oh, fantastic. Missing machine alert. Hello, everybody. Yes, we're starting out with a missing. Cannot speak. It is probably past midnight and I'm starting a stream. I'm a bit of a nutcase. I am looking for that 1278 that we were working on last night. I cannot find it. I got the main board. All nicely ultrasonic cleaned. But looks like the soul's there, but the body's taken a walk. And I'm just trying to look in my shelves and see where I put it. Yeah, that's a fantastic thing to do, Paul. Put somebody's valuable machine somewhere and you just go and lose it. No, you're a massive 3330. You're another 3330. Oh, come on now. Ah, there it is. Just had to give up a little more and then finally it was presented to me. Right. We'll get this out of the way, reassemble back together, and then we'll get started on this stack. And maybe we can come up with 1 or 2 working boards for me to use. Add it to the stash, as it were, for future computer saving situations where I'm too stupid to be able to fix the board. Alright, and looks like Andre, yeah, he was first. Hey Greg, why are you your own worst enemy? Hello, Mr. Painter. And Mary Claire, don't recall you. My apologies if you have been around before, but I just seem to have memory blank there. Alright, so got the machine, let's put the board back together. Quite right you are, Gabor. Luke, you broke your first MacBook. How did that happen? Okay, let's stick a precisely measured amount of thermal paste on there. Find ourselves a half decent Phillips screwdriver. That'll do. Hey Miles. Oh, Soderbridge is here. Why is Soderbridge here? Who let Soderbridge in the club? You blew the backlight fuse trying to repaste it. How? What do you mean by repaste it? As in reattach it to the board, or using solder paste? I'm not quite sure. Barry, I sincerely hope the heatsink is not shorted out. You people are really trying to just rile me up, aren't you? You're all doing your very best. You got a taste for the entertainment of riling people up. One thing I did just notice just now is that the memory slot there is a bit dodgy. Miles, you had 1165 battery go. I'm playing. What is an 1165? Yeah, that's pretty gnarly, actually. Gotta be careful with this scrubby. You can do more damage than what you're trying to fix. Wow, I'm surprised that didn't stop the machine earlier. It's probably going to give memory errors. I'll have to run memtest 86 on this. It's all good there. Solder Bridge, this is the... Yeah, what a... By the way, with regards to that 1990 last night that we replaced the mux on and we still couldn't get the display and we thought the display was dead, it turns out it was one of those odd scenarios where the EDID data or something like that gets messed up in the PRAM, and then when you do a PRAM reset after you've done the mux replace, it works. So in the end the screen was just fine. It's just that the machine didn't want to talk to it on account of the fact that there's alien goop on here. That alien goop is what happens sometimes when, damn it, when your ultrasonic boards and there's bits of adhesive still on the board. This is actually like a piece of sticker and it's floated around, and now it's going to do a number on our contacts. Not the easiest stuff to get off. Do you ever use deoxide on the computer contacts that seem to corrode? I haven't, no. Yeah, Andre, it was a success, yep. But like I said, it was an unusual one. I've encountered that on 1466s before. I just haven't didn't think about it being on one of the newer machines. But yeah, so I did the PRAM reset and boom, it's up and alive. I was fortunate that you remember that I also had another 1990 in here, and you'll also recall that I said I wasn't going to put the board that didn't seem to work on the other customer's chassis, and I didn't. But what I realized is that if the screen is blown, in theory, on that machine that we worked on last night, then I should be able to take that board that had the needed a battery. I should be able to take that board and plug it into the chassis, and if the screen is blown, that's no problem. But if the screen is good, then that should come up okay. And this slot is basically fire trucked. Yeah. They're gonna have to go back to one slot on this. I can't see any good way of recovering this. That's some pretty hefty corrosion. I could try some kind of, what do you call it, contact cleaner. But you see, they're supposed to spring like that. No, sorry, they're supposed to spring like that. This is well and truly more like welded. See, it's got no movement at all. Alright, so if they want 4 gigs on this, they're going to have to drop this slot because it's not going anywhere. What a wreck. That's a serious train wreck. I'll give a teeny tiny spritz of contact cleaner just to flush away the nastiness. Barry, yeah, I did get Micro's new fridge and I do like it. The nice thing is it's a bit bigger, it runs off 12 volts it's instead of USB. Yeah, just all in all, it feels like a better design. And they actually list one of the features as being able to get to the fan and clean it. Hey Jessica. I can't imagine the number of solder bridge. I can't imagine the number of people who successfully can replace one of these 1278 dual memory slot holders. I can't imagine it's a long list of people who can do that, especially with the way the balls are done on them. Alright. Let's get that back into the chassis so that we can be disappointed with the outcome. Hey Mohammed. Who knows, maybe a few hundred cycles in and out on that, what do you call it, on that memory slot might loosen it up. Not something I would recommend. You know that's just going to be intermittent, you know it's going to fail when you least need it to. Just as you work out some crazy formula that's going to make you $1 million or save the world, it's going to be at that point that the memory decides, I've had enough, and dies. It really would make my life easier if I had a bit more forethought and actually removed the battery from this chassis, but sometimes you've got to make your life difficult to appreciate not making your life difficult. Hey, Six Girls. Yeah, you're right. It could just be a ground pin. That would be awfully lucky if it was. I mean, it would still provide some minor degree of instability, but that would be nice if it was a ground pin. Not sure we can be that kind of lucky. Might not be permitted. Hey, Lindro Muns from Brazil, welcome. You guys have taken order of those nice new close air support aircraft. The Tucanos, I think it was. I think it was a couple of months ago you took delivery of them. They look like nice aircraft. Super Tucanos, that's it. Or is it the AT-6 Texans? I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the two, I'm sure. Anyway, they're pretty neat. Very low cost of running. I mean, yeah, for close air support, a lot of people want the A-10-2s, but while they're quite formidable, they are pretty expensive to have loitering around. We'll just stick a couple of screws in, then we will give it a test. Mother flip. It's been particularly difficult going into that slot. It's probably got probably that edge there is split. The flex lead actually tends to sort of split apart vertically, and then it jams. Yeah, there we go. It's either a splitter or it's just a bit of junk. We'll try that again, shall we? Well, that is a seriously tight fitting keyboard flex. Hey James Ewing. Random trash falling in there. Suppose we should clean out that fan. Come on. Sorry. Just excuse my expressions of impatience here. Still can't believe this has actually got spinning rust on it. It's like, why would you do that to yourself? Considering how amazingly cheap solid state drives are, and what is this? It's a 500 gig. So even you get like a Samsung Evo 860 or something like that, so it's $100. Let's call it $100. Get yourself a whole lot of value out of that $100 investment. Hey Bandy cell phones. Damn it, just as I get distracted and smash the screwdriver into the circuit board. Because that's what professionals do. I was thinking about the term professionals today, and yeah, because we like to all claim that and stuff. And realistically, professional doesn't give you any idea of the actual quality of the work that you're going to get. All it means is that you're paying someone to do a job. Now what you really want is an expert. But better yet, you want to be a professional expert, or an expert professional. No, actually probably professional expert. So you're really good at what you do and you get paid for it. But I suppose a lot of people, the term professional implies that they're an expert or good at it. But in the reality, we know damn well that is not the case. I mean, just look at the work I do. It's hardly, I'm definitely a professional. I get paid to do this work. Whether I'm an expert or not, well, that's very much up for debate. Right, let's boot this thing up. See how it behaves. I'm not going to put the battery in just yet. And yes, I've deliberately left the hard drive disconnected at this point. Ah, Victor's here. Now. Ah, son of a gun. Well, that is not going to save me, is it? Nope. Or maybe just. Hey, Chili. Looks like we've got most of South America and similar places around today. Come on, come on, come on, come on. At least with these older displays, you can get away with washing them down and brushing them down without worrying about whether you're going to destroy $1,000 monitor. Do note that this is running on 2 gigs. We'll plug the 4 gigs in and we will stick it on memtest and see how it goes. So David, would that mean that you're not an expert on claiming what an expert is? A vessel from the Netherlands, and Palestine's here. Yeah, so we're leaving the traditionals all in the dust. I'm keeping well, thanks, Joseph. Very eager to get out of this workshop, very eager to expand into more room. It's becoming somewhat untenable in here. Hey, Micromage. Bigger is certainly better when it comes to room for your workshop. I just do not have the room in here. I mean, I'm happy with the fact that I managed to get what I've done over the last 2 years since being constricted. So I'm happy I managed to work through it, but it is definitely time to get the expansion rolling. Okay, what the heck? I've never seen a blue and black beach ball spin. I do not know what blue and black meant. Hey, Paul Marrow. Have to speak to the landlord, yes. Have to start laying down the law. Hey, Mike Lad, welcome, California. Come on, man. Yeah, this poor thing is suffering on 2 gigs. Ugh. The colors, they probably just look a bit bad because of the ambient light. Alright, we just crashed. Pretty sure... Did we? Oh no, it was just having a... what it's doing at the moment is it's doing a hell of a lot of paging. As in it's swapping memory out to disk, bringing another memory page back from disk. It's really not good behavior for this. I'm just going to force it to turn off. It's not going to go anywhere in a hurry. This device, this is just a hub. Nothing fancy. Alright, so let's plug this memory in. And maybe we're lucky and that pin that was messed up is a ground. We'll plug the battery in. Might as well plug that in. Stick the bottom plate on. And I'm going to throw the USB stick around, why not? Just going to put 2 of these screws in so that the bottom plate doesn't come just wildly flying off. This here is memtest. It's very handy for these sort of situations. Yeah, Greg, that's not good running on fumes when it comes to sleep. I feel like I've been doing that for the last 18 months here. Actually, to be real, the last 2 years. Like I said, it's why I'm very excited about the next couple of weeks. So many things are going to go back to normal, I'm certainly hoping. Andre, I actually would put a SSD in, except this is a business-to-business job, as opposed to me directly working with the customer. If I was directly working with the customer, I probably would do that. Or certainly it'd be high on my recommendation to them. But unfortunately in this case, I am simply doing the service of another business. Mr. Thew, it is a memory check boot stick. It's a MemTest 86. And this will go through and see whether that corroded pin actually is involved in any issues or whether it's just a ground and we got lucky. Hey, Michael Kiram. Blue spinning cursor is sometimes referred to as the JavaScript pinwheel. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting to know. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Ray is 916. You're still muted on your main account. What is your main account? I almost never permanently mute people, so I don't know what's going on. I know Lewis would often have a lot of people saying that they were cold, and yeah, most of the time it wasn't anything he's done. It's just some weird quirk that occasionally comes up. Jackaskar, yes, I am up late. Not normal for me lately, but it is tonight. By the way, for those wondering, I did manage to get in touch with Jim. Jim is unwell at the moment, but not, fearfully unwell. He's just unwell. But he'll be back around sometime sooner or later. Come on, let's get this memory check going. Let's see, we've got a reflection. We've got a reflection of the ultrasonic cleaner in the background there. It is currently 1 AM here in Australia. I don't know how long this is going to go for. Looks like we're charging the battery. We're at 1.4 amps. So I think let's get started on those 1466s, okay? Because they're not going to fix themselves, unfortunately, as much as I wish they would. I'm just going to stick this somewhere where I'm going to knock it over and regret putting it there. Okay, so with these 1466s, I am assuming I don't know what the problems are. If they have any problems, some might work, some could be faulty. It's just going to have to be something we have to dig our way through. Let's see. And we are going to use a complete chassis, or at least pretty close to a complete chassis. Now if we're lucky, we might have... Just thinking if we're lucky we might be able to... If we've got a 3437s we can use the MRI on it. And using the MRI just sort of speeds things up for me. Yeah, poor Adelaide, poor South Australia. I should be nice to him though, I mean I am a South Australian technically. Okay, so we've got a 3437. This looks like it's a 1.4 gigahertz, 4 gigs RAM. So it's not really a high-end board. But to be fair, for a lot of what the people use these 1466s for, it's a perfectly decent board. And I think this is something that Apple really is worried about, is the fact that a 1466 like this is still perfectly adequate for a great portion of people. And Apple's like, we can't have that, that's completely unacceptable. Alright, I need to get a battery as well so that we can test the battery capabilities. Let's see, where am I going to snare a 1466 battery from? I've got a lot of dead ones. Does that count? What about you guys? No, not you, not you. Ah, you're too heavy. Give myself a hernia. Ooh, that hurt my ears. Damaged. Bloated. No data link. Well, the bloated one looks terrible, but it might actually work. Hey friend, how are you? Good to see you. Don't plug it in now, you idiot. Whereabouts are you from, friend? Okay, we don't have a Wi-Fi in there. Okay, steal someone else's Wi-Fi module. I'm fairly sure I saw one floating around here. Here we go. Stuart, I would like to be sure that these boards are charging properly. I know it's a bit more of a schlep testing it this way, and maybe perhaps what I should be doing is triaging them, and that is, maybe I should just rig them up with the DCM board and the Chipmunk externally first, see if they even come up, and then try them in the chassis. I think I might try to do that. Hey Copaz, welcome. Because it is a fair bit of time to put these in. Okay, battery in. So around about now we should be starting to get all the gamers coming in, asking for all sorts of stupid things and being complete idiots. Okay, I need a MagSafe 1. No, your MagSafe 2. I just have to switch over that 1278 that we're testing to a actual power pack. So you'll see the current drop off. Hopefully the damn thing stays on. It did not. Oh wow, that thing shut down on me as soon as I cut the power. The battery's no good. That sucks. Alright, so it looks like we've already got a fault that we have to deal with on that 1278. It doesn't stay on, so either the battery's dead, or the ISL, or something like that. Hey Jim, welcome. I thought you weren't going to be up to it, but congratulations on making it. Okay, Chipmunk's up. This is not doing the proper stop start stop start. This is like it's been held down by something. It does seem to remain on. So the battery works. Check to make sure my keyboard isn't holding it down. So with the 3437s, as most of you know, the fan should do a spin stops, and then start up. But this one before was just so we've got no CPU activity, and it seems to just like spasm like that periodically. Okay. I'll be honest, I don't know what that actually would be. Check to make sure it wasn't the camera causing that. The cameras can sometimes tie some of the I2C lines. You kidding? It's beeping? Seriously? You're telling me it's beeping? Alright, okay, so it's beeping. Alright. Thank you for letting me know. I could not hear that. Okay, so we've got a RAM fault, or something relating to RAM. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the RAM. Welcome to understanding how poor my hearing is. I cannot hear that. And I'm right here, and the room is quiet. Okay, so bad RAM fault. What's going on? It could be some of the RAM pins, or it could be the voltages to the RAM. There's, you know, few possible things. We'll have a look over it. Okay, so we've got some flux doing some damage here. 105 HS switch has been replaced. W. Miles, unfortunately that is not the case. For me it is a hereditary issue. I have a loss of nerve in my hearing. Reheat the RAM. Well, yeah, it might be the RAM. Yeah, that's not a problem if it is. I'm happy to reheat it. But I think I'll check the voltages before I do that. It's not very common for me to encounter a 3-beat RAM fault on the 3437s. I know. What about other people who do these boards? Have you encountered 3437 with 3-beat RAM issue? Greg M, hope you'll not see a Yoga 2 Pro again. I do agree. Any of those sort of machines that come in here or people send requests for to repair, I decline them now. They're just pure hell. RAM reball. Now we're getting serious, eh? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is check the voltages for the RAM and make sure they're okay. And I just have to remember which chip is used for RAM. There we go, got it. U7400. So just setting up everything here, getting ready to do the testing. Oops. Voltage test. Okay. Okay, so 1.2 we've got. Okay, so that one there we've got. What are the other voltages I need for memory? I think 1V8. Naturally here on the other side. Okay, we got 1V8. Feel free to message me with what other voltages I need. By the way, if you have Flexboard View and you're trying to get to a particular, like I'm trying to search for the DDR, the memory here, if you just hit the lowercase n to go to the next item in the PDF, it can take a while if there's 7 or 8 occurrences or instances on a given page. But if you hit Shift N, like capital N, it will then take you to the next occurrence on the next page rather than on the same page. Just a helpful hint. Ah, here we go. This is what I'm after. 1v2 S3, 1v2 S3. Okay, they're all 1v. Okay, 1v8 S3. Looks like it's only 1v2 and 1v8, and both of them are okay. Okay, 1v8, 1v2. 1v2, 1v2. Oh wait, yeah, there is a 0.6 volt one. Where do you come from? Stuff in there between those two. Okay, we don't appear to have the 0.6. I don't know, is that... Oh yeah, we do. Alright, so that's fine. Hey, Gadgets Clink. Valid Buftas. We're just trying to find out why this has given us 3 beep on the RAM. It can sometimes be the RAM at fault, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the voltage supplied to the RAM that's faulty. Yeah, you're missing a particular rail or something like that. But it looks like we've got all our rails. So that leads us to reballing the RAM. Actually, is that a bit of corrosion I can see down there? Yeah, that looks like a little bit of corrosion, doesn't it? Down there. It's not too hard, it's more something you just gotta methodically do bit by bit, and you gotta look for tiny little hints like this, like that there. It looks like corrosion to me. So I'm gonna actually remove this chip and reball it. So that will keep solder bridge off my back for tonight. Unrelentless SOB that man is. Do you think I can make my graphics card better? GTX 1650? Probably not something that... Well, it's not something I can do anyway. Don't really know what you could do for those. Other than buy another one. But no, honestly, I really don't know. Not my field of expertise, I'm afraid. I do get a number of people ask me to do various things with their graphics cards, but honestly, I really don't know anything about that sort of department. I run around on an Intel graphics chipset for my most of my systems, even this one. As a general rule, I loathe and detest the idea of having to have a separate GPU card on my system, because I just don't use it. Okay. Download more VRAM. I'll download RAM doubler. How's that sound? That was always fun back in the in the 90s. RAM doubler. That was a seriously good scam. I mean, it kind of did work, but it really didn't work. By the way, reballing RAM is not something I do on a regular basis, so you will be watching me to fail here, okay? So this is probably going to be a failure, but let's do it anyway. And you can see it's really getting into that corrosion there. I could leave it here and just, let it flux and boil and throw it in the ultrasonic, but I have a feeling it's the sort of fault that would just come right on back. Now my next problem is that my tweezers, as big as they are not big enough to get this chip off properly. Oh yeah, check it out. That is some grade A nastiness. Hey Piano, welcome. Been a while since I've seen you here annoying me. Congratulations on arriving. And this is why I was not going to let it be with just a simple flux and boil. So I knew I had to come in and take the chip off and actually redo it. Uh-oh, running out of heat. Crap. Yeah, that's some downright nasty stuff there. Alright, we're going to hot air wick away the excess. Ah. Unfortunately, faults often are like this, and this is why you end up with so many no-fix boards. Because it can be very difficult to spot that sort of corrosion ingress. Yeah, we were just lucky. In this particular instance, it was a RAM complaint, and we just happened to look at the right place and see that tiny smidge of corrosion. In most cases, you get this sort of trash sitting under chips and you'll never find it. Just like I can't seem to find my hot air wicking auto grabby tweezers. Where the hell do I put my stuff? Oh, this is just driving me up the wall. I mean, really? What does a man have to do to have a reliable supply of accessible parts on his bench, huh? Honestly, it's like I've got to sell my soul a few times over. Infuriating is a word. It's not enough to describe how it feels. Anyway, I do have another one in here, and it's one I actually prefer to use. But it still doesn't stop it being annoying as hell for me. You watch, I won't be able to find this one either. I think what drives me up the wall even more is the fact that I've been using it earlier in the day, so I know it's around. Hey, naturally, it's the very literally last container I look at. Yeah, I need just a better desk. The end. Okay, there we go. It's not so much I need a desk organizer, I just need to have a better desk setup. Everything is too crammed here. Just gonna let this flux soak up some... let the wick soak up some flux. Let's get our proper temperature running. Okay. What about the cap next to the corrosion? You mean the one that I've already cleared up? I wouldn't call them... Oh, wow, that came out loud, sorry. I wouldn't call them super fragile micromage, but certainly I prefer not to put any more strain than I really want to or have to on them. And so doing hot air wicking tends to be about the lowest impact way of getting the excess solder off, because while you can run a ball of solder from the tip of the iron over it, and that will, clear up a fair bit, it still leaves the domes. Tony, depends on the job, but usually anything between about ½ inch to an inch. Now the question is, do I bother reusing this RAM or what? Doesn't look too bad. We'll give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's not going to work? Boo-hoo. Too big. Yeah, naturally nothing fits. I might be able to get away with that. This is just for the cleanup, not for the reball. Stuart, I'm sure I'll live, yeah. That's where the corrosion is. Try and get a better look at that. I might be able to determine just from this whether it's worth trying to do this one or whether it's complete. Okay, kind of looks like the corrosion has already gone inside of it, in which case it's a complete waste of time. But it could just be surface effects. Nah, it's gone inside of it. Yeah, that's wicked into the actual inside of the RAM chip, so that goes into the trash. Alright, so now the problem is we need to find another one of those. Yeah, that was a little bit loud. Okay, so what are we looking for? I'm not rightly sure which model number I care about here. What I'll do is I'll gather up my 1466s and see which ones have the same chip on them and take one from there. I've got a few donors that are still populated with RAM. I suppose I can. 165s probably should be the same too, I guess. Okay, that's the wrong brand. Kind of curious. This is also a 4 gig. And oh wow, look, there's a itty bitty mite in there or something. Some creature that really doesn't want to. You see that? That is how, what you just saw there, that is how boards get corrosion, even when people say, I didn't get any liquid on it. What you saw that creature do just then when it pissed its pants on the board, that's how you end up with those blobs of corrosion in random places on the board, even though there's been no external liquid. Yeah, that's crazy. I just saw it drop a Yeah, peed its pants on the board. Fantastic. That was living proof of how these boards get destroyed. I'm glad I actually captured that. That's one for the books. Hey, Stray. Oh, we've got Samsung. Great. So I've got 2 different brands so far. What's this one? This is also a 4 gig, but they all technically have the same size. I have heard from someone that you can intermix the RAM brands without apparently ill effect. I don't know how true that is. I guess we can find out, eh? You watch, this will be the only 4 gig board I have. Sorry, the only 4 gig using that particular brand. And Pernov's there to remind us that that would be a stupid idea. Pernov likes to destroy hope and optimism. Oh, here we go. But you watch, this is going to be an 8 gig board, isn't it? But I can't tell because the... Damn it. Son of a gun, it's etched out. What's this? Bad PCH. This is one of those ones where... This is one of those ones where they seem like they're booting, but they don't really boot. Yeah, this is an 8 gig one. Told you. So we get the same brand, but we got the wrong size. Yeah, we've still got more boards to go. There's one upside to 1466 has been popular is that there's very much no shortage of... Okay, we've got another Skynex. Okay, so we should have the match on this one. Thank goodness for that. I'm starting to panic. I could do a RAM upgrade, but I don't think I will. So I'm not exactly sure which numbers matter in this case. 8J TAL, 8J TAL, 447A. Okay, see, so those numbers are different. So that's 451A, but I suspect that might actually be a date code. 3 LAD, 31H, 3 LAD, 31H, 3 LAN. Yeah, I don't know if these are going to be a match or not. I guess we'll just try it, shall we? The only difference is... No, this is a 3437, so... it should be matched. I'll take this middle one here. Yeah, well, the first line matches, and there were portions of the second line that matched. I'm going to go with it. Still can't get over that mite, or whatever it was. I'm going to actually... What's the timestamp here? We're at 1 hour. So at about the 1 hour mark, that bug did its thing. I want to explicitly capture that so I can show it to my customers when they query me as to how the hell this stuff happens. And I'll say that is exactly how it happens. I do hope it actually was in decent quality. It seemed like it when I was looking through the microscope. I'm all hyperactive now. Whoops. Solaris used to live in Darwin. Had PC for a farm filled with rats. Ew. I've had PCs filled with a lot of things, but not rats. And when I was up in that area, when I was up in Jabiru, there weren't really PCs. That was like, late 70s, early 80s. I do remember having a Tandy catalogue when I was there, and I remember looking at that TRS-80 and really wanting that computer for many years. I think I knew that catalogue off the back of my hand. That's not what I meant to say. I knew that catalogue very well. That's what I meant to say. Just want to wash this chip down. Actually, was it TSR or was it TRS 80? TRS, right. Alright, looks good enough to try and rebuild this. I don't know how well it's going to go. But hey, we'll give it a shot. And I am fortunate enough that I do have stencils for the memory. Thanks to fixing things for you. If I can find it. Yep, here it is. He sent me these stencils. So, fixing things for you. I'm not sure if this is the right stencil, but I'll have a check. I think this is the 2159. I don't think it's the right stencil. You're not the right stencil, are you? Oh, yes you are. Huh. Miles, that's great. Thank you for checking for that. Okay, that is locked in. And of course this is the time when I realise I do not have very good paste right now. I mean, the paste I've got is actually very bad right now. Very bad. And I haven't yet received my replacement paste, which I desperately need. I think I am going to have to swallow my pride and end up buying some paste locally. If I do this right, I should be able to actually lift the stencil. Damn it. Oh, that is such crappy paste. See if I can lift it like the old days of manufacturing. Now the problem here is going to be that it's probably going to bleed into itself, which does me no good at all. So we'll drop down to about 10. You really just want radiant heat on this. Great, and there's a couple in the middle there that didn't get done, but we can fix them up in a little bit. See, the trouble is, if you... Nah, this is going to go to hell, I think. We'll see. There's too many that are merged together. This is where paste quality makes a big difference. If you have good quality paste, it doesn't do this inter-pad smearing like that, so that's complete and utter disaster. Well, that was fun. I could do it leaving the stencil there. Chances are it's just going to buckle. The other option I can try is to use, I think I've got 0.25 balls. Oh no, what size balls are you supposed to use on these things if you are going to use balls? I'm guessing I can try 0.25s. Hey Wade, yes, late night for me. I'll try some 0.25s and see how that works. .35, really? Seriously? That big? SMC size? Okay. Well, I can live with that. Tell you what I can't live with is my inability to align the stencil. Are you kidding me? Come on, Paul. Hey, see, the problem is my paste is too poor in quality at this point. If you have good quality paste, then you don't have that seepage and things like that. What will happen if you've got good quality fresh paste is when you do apply that, and then you take the stencil away, it keeps its upright form very well. Anyway, we'll try some balls. Since I seem to be a little more in favour when it comes to balls. Okay, thanks Pernov, appreciate the warning. I wonder if I can use the same technique I use for SMCs. Fortunately I was only using very low heat on that one, Pernov. I think I was using barely 330. Okay, the problem here is that the stencil is not deep enough. And we've got a fair few in there. Just checking for any that I've got doubles. Come on, stick, damn it. I don't doubt there's a far superior way of doing this, but we're doing it the way we're doing it tonight. And that is that. Yay, I take... put one down, take two out. Fantastic. It's getting easier now that the knife is actually working in my favour. See, it's actually holding on to them properly now. On the very tip. What's scary is that for each one I put down, I seem to see two more holes. Yeah, I know I got two on there. I start wondering, how many damn pads has a RAM chip got? Okay, it's good for that bottom half. And it's good for the top half. Whew. The ball control is easier once you've got that knife under control. Okay, now the thing I'm worried about here is that this stencil, it's going to buckle, and when it buckles, it's going to make all of those balls pop out like, what's that damn game, Boggle. I don't know if anyone's played Boggle. It's that word game where it I think it's got like 25 letters or something like that, I can't remember. And on some of them you hit a button and it pops all of them. Now this is bad news, that is buckling something serious. And I need to get some flux in there. I'm sure this is where they charge a lot for frameworks that just quickly let you put the chip in, shake the balls around, apply the heat, and voila. Yeah, we're getting better here now, I think. I wonder how many people are getting PTSD from this. I certainly am. That's about 99% of them done. Just let them harden up. I don't think I actually got them all. Yeah, I think I might have got them all. I was going to be like, don't heat it again, but I'm worried that there may be some down here that haven't actually bonded properly. Okay, that's good. Whew. Why not try holding it down the middle? Probably because what I'm worried about when I do that is that I've got to try and work around the tweezers with the nozzle and stuff like that. So I've got to bring my hand around a fair bit. Anyway. Looks like we did pretty good that time. Like I said, considering it's my first time doing one of those ones. And the next trick is aligning the damn thing and making sure it sits down properly. I should be able to use the cues from the chip next to it to get an idea of the gaps that I need to obtain. So like right now this feels pretty good where it's sitting. Maybe like a smidge high, oops. I think the problem here is that there is a little bit of buckling going on, but I don't think I can place it any better than that. Now we'll go with, normally we do 460 and 110, but because this is a leaded reball, I think we can go 430 and we just drop the air down a bit to about 90. I don't think any of the balls dropped out. I mean, that was why I did the reheating of it before, to make sure that it was definitely settled in properly. I think that just sat down, did it? I'm pretty sure I saw that drift into place. Hey Jason. No, you tell me. Do you feel like that actually reflowed, or was it just my imagination? But it looks pretty good. Yeah, those pads look properly squished down. Hey Corey, welcome. Let's cool it off. Keith, yeah, these are the 1466s that I was showing off yesterday. Okay. Now we don't have the speaker connected, but we should be able to tell if it's been successful, because hopefully we should get the green blink. If we get the green blink, that's the green light. Okay, so we're watching for green over here. That, what it just did then is proper. Yeah, it is actually behaving better now. It's doing the stop start thing. And it should come up one more time, and then we should get green blinks. It's a win. Alright, so we'll stick that into the chassis now and see if we actually get a boot out of it. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. First time I've bothered to do a RAM reflow like that. Normally, replacement rather. Normally I just don't bother. Normally it's a board replacement, get it out of the way. Chicken, chicken, winner, dinner. I know that's not the saying, but I can't go stealing Dave Jones's sayings. That man is scary. He would fly all the way up to North Queensland here from the safety of his solar-powered house and give me a verbal beating for taking his sayings. He'd be in like Flynn at my house. It's funny, I didn't realise it was actually Errol Flynn that they're referring to. I always thought it was Flynn from Tron. And when they say in like Flynn, I was thinking more like when Flynn gets sliced up and taken into the mainframe. Funny how you can have crossovers like that. Right, no, you're a puny 11-inch. Give me a 13-inch base plate, please. How can I not have an endless supply of 13-inch base plates. "15-inch." Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. I don't think that's even a match, but it'll suffice. See, it's got a wide. Come here. Yes, Steve, it was quite a long time before Tron, but I didn't know about Errol Flynn prior. It's not something I was brought up with, so it's more a function of our ages, Dave being a bit older than myself. Right, not quite rightly sure what this is doing at the moment. Would have expected to come up by now. We do have green. So keyboard not working. 3 amps, I'm charging. Oh, okay. Oh, I think the keyboard's dead on this thing. Maybe. Coda, no, I don't unfortunately have any news on the FLIR driver. That, if you want to chase that up, chase Rob Brown. He was the one that I enlisted to give it a shot, but there were complications. Hey, Dare Bear from Ireland. Okay, I don't know what this is doing yet. It's kind of weird behavior how it's gone to full. Yeah, okay. This chassis has trackpad or something issues. I think I'll use a different chassis. Cause yeah, that's plugged in. Not sure what's happened with this one. Something's happened to the keyboard or the trackpad, I'm not rightly sure. Yet another thing to test. I'm almost certain this flex is perfectly fine because I have used it on some other machines. It's okay. I'll just grab myself another one of these chassis. Come on, where are you, Paul? Right. Not you. Aha. Okay. Alright, this is actually one that I normally use, the extension lead. This is my 1466 extension lead. Very handy things to have if you're doing a lot of work on them. No, the replacement RAM's okay. At least I'm pretty sure it is. The downside of this particular chassis is that I've kind of killed the right side speaker and I've killed the backlight keyboard. I've killed a lot of things on this thing. It's had a hard life. It's a very well used donor chassis, this one. Very dependable one, but just kind of got used a few too many times. Started to break things. I should refurbish it. Ach, Niemann, come on. Okay, I know the camera cable's supposed to go under the DCM board, but ain't got time for that right now. Yeah, I concur. If the RAM was bad, it wouldn't have booted. Guess it's just nice to get proper confirmation on everything. Come on, give me the bong. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. Now, Pilnov will run it through mem test in a bit. Trying to find my MRI stick, to be honest. I'm gonna keep it out on here and amongst all the trash. Oh, and having said that, MRI, very good. Everything's looking good. Okay. We'll shut it down and we'll put this MRI test on and see how that goes. The MRI test isn't really an overly extensive memory test, but it will also test everything else on this board. Being a 3437, this will work in it, so that's good. Just waiting for it to shut down. That is one thing I like about with the Chipmunk, is that even though you've got no other indications on the system, the Chipmunk tells you when you've actually shut down. So all the lights are off, so you now know that power rails are being shut down. And which it's a multi-function sort of device. It shows you if you've got power, it shows you if the 5 volts is stable on the USB, and it shows you if you've got CPU activity. So it lets you very quickly have a glance on what's happening with your machine. Richard, welcome. I haven't seen you for a while, Richard. Good to see you again. I'm up late. Yeah. Pilnov, do you consider this an ASD RAM test? I mean, given that the MRI is a kind of an ASD, or do you mean like the proper ASDs? Because I know this identifies itself as like ASD 135 or something like that. I can't remember. Or maybe it's just the boot identification string. Testing memory now. What would happen if you populated every solder pad on a board? It probably wouldn't work because a lot of those solder pads are actually mode selections or debugging selections. So if you start populating everything, you'll end up in some crazy system state that really isn't valid. I guess a battery sucks, which we know. It passed the RAM test for now, but who knows if that's legit. It seems to be fine with it at least. Alright, shut that down. Okay, so that's one board we've apparently fixed. Right, okay. I thought as much, Pernov, but I thought I'd double check with you. It did seem a little bit quick. So you can't extensively test these things that quickly. It's a bit like when you see movies and they destroy the disk drives or something like that in a matter of seconds, and you're thinking, yeah, you actually just can't destroy the data that quickly. At the best, you can kill the encryption key. If you've got like a BitLocker type scenario, you can kill the key. Well, that's about it. No way of getting that data destroyed unless you go over it again at least once. Well, I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy that we fixed a RAM one, and it was my first one where I bothered to do the RAM. So now I need to write on this, leave a mark to let myself know that it's good. Test RAM 2021 0411. Ooh, a couple of days and we might find out if that helicopter is flying on Mars. It'll be quite something. Okay, one done. Oh geez, how many more to go? 427. Okay. This board here is one of the mysterious ones. It's a 165 where it powers up for about 20 seconds and then dies, and then powers back up and you got nothing. So this is possibly PCH fault. I've never found a solution to this particular fault, so that I'm not going to bother with. What's this one? All I've got here is PD. PED. Pedophile? Pedophile? File Peter? I don't know. Well, let's find out what's going on with this one then. It might be okay, it might not. In a 165, I unfortunately can't really use the MRI on it because I still haven't managed to get my hands on the modified one and put it onto a USB stick. I'm pretty sure I did download it, but I still haven't actually expanded it out onto the USB stick. Ach, niemand. So Steve K, just to be sure, I'd redo the original RAM and hope for the best. Wait, you mean redo all of the other ones? I'm not going to bother doing that, because that corrosion was distinctly only on that one chip. I don't think I would bother to go to the effort of doing all four. I'd probably end up more chance of destroying it by doing that. Yes, how many people know why it's File Peter? IT crowd nerds. Ah, shoot. This one seems to be alive. Any trouble with that? Yes, it is late for me. It's my own fault. I lost track of time this evening, and then I had an urge to have a coffee. And I had a coffee, and I realized it was 11 o'clock at night, so I thought I'm screwed. I am so screwed, so I basically am better off staying up a little bit longer, wear myself down, Yeah. Yes, you have to move to America if you got a name like File Peter. Cody, you're quite fortunate in that respect. Okay, some damn mothball old man bug just came into the room. Ah, disgusting. It smells like mothballs in here now. It's a bug that gets around here, some tropical bug. And when it gets upset or something like that, it produces a smell that's not dissimilar to naphthalene flakes, mothballs. Sudi, no workshop development yet. We're still yet to have that get started, unfortunately. Okay, I've got no speaker on this one, but that's usually a function of the DC in board. But it could mean I've got a problem on the connector that goes between the DC in board and the main board. So there's no speaker on this. Yeah, nothing. So it is booting, and okay, the other problem we've got, heat pipe to, okay, it's definitely got a problem with the communications to the daughter board. Because the RPM at 6,500 and it thinks the heat pipe output is 128. Solder bridge, has it got the numbers on it for you to actually spend money on it? Mind you, they would kind of know who did it. Alright. Oops, shouldn't yank it off like that when the battery's still connected. It is still worth it financially for me to do these repairs. You have to fix up these 1466s. What the hell? Something just fell from my nose. That was terrible. Ah, damn cave bats. Alright. So we probably have a problem with this connector. To be fair, it looks okay. That looks can be deceiving. We do have some solder on it. In fact, we've got a lot of solder on it. Or do I just have bad SMC? Okay, I've obviously reworked this whole area. But I'll be honest and say that connector looks not too bad. Or it's short on it somewhere? I mean, yeah, sure, there's solder wicking up the sides, but that's not typically a problem. What you normally have a problem with is bridges and brakes. And I can't see either on there. There's a bit of a clump on that middle pin there, but like I said, it's not a bridge or a brake. It is likely something I worked on and set aside, yes. Well, first thing I'll do is I'll try and take that off and replace it with another one. Yeah, maybe some solder did wick inside and it upset it. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is a slow, painful process with a hell of a lot of flux. There are faster ways of doing this, but I kind of in the slow and steady mode. A little less air. I think 90 is a bit much. Try about 75. The trouble with having too much air, of course, is that you lose a lot of your flux. And I am obviously trying to avoid melting the camera connector. Not because I can't replace the camera connector, I just would rather not have to. I'm going to assume this is actually leaded solder on the connector, so it should come up pretty quick. Yep, here it comes already. Everything seems okay. Flux. Steve K, I actually don't get my flux from Rossmann. I get it directly from Amtech America. Rossmann's got to make his margins and I don't want to pay the margin, so I get it directly from Amtech in 10 or 20 tubes at a time. I don't personally go through that many, but there are other people who do buy it off me. I don't sell it as such as a normal thing. It's more just a case of if I'm going to get a lot, then I'll let some people know and they can choose to pick up a tube or two from me at the same time. Alright, let's get ourselves another connector. He's not selling to Australia anymore. Okay, well, there you go. Oh, it's funny, that's the one we took the chip from. Alright, this board's proven to be a useful board. This one, however, is going to take a while to come off. You basically have to heat up the whole board. I can blow it from the other side, but we've had this debate plenty of times, and you just have to deal with the fact that I don't do it that way. I don't blow it from the back side of the connector. I just prefer to face it directly and watch it carefully. I mean, there are a few times where I will, with things like the speaker connector from the other night. This is really no different to just waiting for it to come up to temperature in the reflow oven. And when you think about it, reflow ovens, the cycle usually is around about the 4-minute process. It depends on what level they're using. Mind you, the ramp up is very quick. You spend most of the time in a reflow oven just coming up to temperature, staging, holding, and then ramping at the last second. Because you don't want the parts to be sitting at the high temperature for too long. And that's why you spend so much time with the board at the lower temperatures soaking up heat. One thing I gotta be careful of is I tend to grip these things way too hard. At the hot air nozzle, I just hold on to it as if my life depended on it. It's a little bit crazy. And I relax it, but then soon enough I'm back to gripping it like crazy again. I'm the same with pencils and pens. I used to always get into trouble with my teacher over the fact that I held the pen just a little bit too tight. Sure, yeah, the opposite side of the connector, that's it there, that's, you got some communication lines. Yeah, so that's what you'll be cooking on the other side. Oh, now I realise what those are. They're the ground lines, so I don't need to do anything with them. Yeah, good point, Margarita. I will have to watch the fume extractor because you're right. It could easily pick this little part up and have a very interesting effect. And this part is just thick enough that it may not pass cleanly through the impellers. And if I break an impeller blade, then it's going to be very nasty. Not sure if that's fully stuck down. Feel like it didn't quite grab at this end. Yeah, it hasn't grabbed at this end. Yeah, I did used to have a mesh in front of it, and then I kind of didn't. Yeah, I don't know why that's sitting proud so much. Actually, they're all sitting damn proud. It's okay, it's tilted off wrong here. It needs to be pushed down a little bit towards this side. Then again, I could probably just get away with soldering it. To be fair, the impeller is about, it's a good foot up in, yeah, from the inlet, and it is encased in a fairly tough plastic housing, so there wouldn't be any direct striking to me. But I'd still cover it up anyway. Damn it, bridge. We're just going along one by one, putting in a fillet of solder. It's going to need some assistance. Been a little reluctant to let me take that solder away. That bridge that I've got there. And you do have to be careful with this particular connector that the bridges love to run up on the inside. This has been a little bit tricky. Yeah, I might have to put a tiny piece of wick in there and restart the process. That's what I mean by restart the process. Funnily enough, those two that were wicked, they're both ground anyway. Still, it's the principle of the matter. Yeah, if you start getting Hershey kisses with your soldering, sometimes it just means you just need to get a bit of assistive heat, touch it again, and it fixes up the kiss. That's looking pretty good. Check it edge on, see if it's okay. The Pedro bridges, they're scam bridges, those things. Mr. Pedro, I scam you, professional. I always mock him because he used to do quadcopters a lot, all the modern racing quadcopters, things like that. And he got into MacBooks, and I said to him, you're going to get addicted. I said, you are going to turn this into a business. You're going to start wanting to make, you're just going to inevitably make money and stuff like that. And he's like, no, I'm just doing this for a hobby. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And sure enough, yeah, the addiction grew and it had to be fed. And now he's out there every second day chasing down MacBooks as if they're some kind of rare published book from the Middle Ages. He's got issues, that boy. Admin Media Group captured a clip of the mite so I can show my repair customers if I link your YouTube. Oh yeah, sure, go for it. Thank you. 3 a.m. is it? Yeah, close enough. Yeah, that was... I gotta stop being so loud. That was a very fortunate capture, to be honest. Because I've been trying to explain for many years to people how bugs... because people sort of think, how's a bug going to cause corrosion in my computer? And I was just very glad to see that bug do what it did. Because it's like, finally, proof of what happens when bugs get into your computer. And that was a tiny bug, and you're not going to keep that bug out. I'm just trying to clean the flux out of this connector. The bug was a perpetrator and it's now a criminal. It doesn't have any rights. It's a convicted felon. Yeah, but admin, just send me an email if you like to your version of the video. It'd be interesting to see what you did. And yeah, if you can just link back to my my YouTube. Of course, if YouTube turns around and says to me, "This media already exists," do you want to claim copyright on this? I'll have to say yes. Ah, sucked in a bug. Attack of the bug. Damn. Yep, the bug says, "Fine, I don't have any rights. I'm taking you out, buddy." Oh, yuck. It's. I gotta stop being such a mouth breather. I felt that. Felt that little body, that little encasement of keratin sliding down my throat. I was going to say esophagus, but that's not what it is. I can feel it. It's stuck there and it's squirming. It's like, meh, meh, I don't want to die in your lungs. Disgusting. It's not even a protein bug, it's just keratin. Can hardly digest that at the best of times. Might as well just be a blue whale sucking up all the krill. Although it does get to live off that stuff. At least it wasn't a fly, I guess. Ah, Joseph, I didn't need the visuals, but thank you. Yep, just still stuck. Stuck it right about here. Wash it down. Oh, I was looking for fruitcake too, Margarita. By the way, hello, Margarita. I was looking for fruitcake too when I was at the shop tonight, and the little buggers have run out. For some reason, they don't generally stock the dark fruitcake in this town. Either that, or they do, and all the old fuddy-duddies, which I'll become soon enough, they all get it on Monday morning first thing before I get a chance to wake up. I do remember the fly, yes, with, what's his name? Gold, what is he? Yeah, anyway, you know who I'm talking. The guy out of Independence Day and the dinosaur movie. Louis the Fly. Let's not talk about Louis the Fly. Fuck. That's disgusting. Okay, we've got our speaker back. Obviously, you heard. So it was just a bad connector on that. Goldblum. Yeah, BLUM. Thank you, Tony W, for getting the correct spelling on that. Okay, so our speaker's back. Our RPMs are back. Our temperature's probably going to be back. So it was just a dud connector in this case. Yeah, so all our temperatures are correct. We don't have any 128 type things. So it's another board fixed. That's 2 now. I'm happy with that. Yeah, that'll do for tonight. Obviously, I'll ultrasonic these and then put them through a more extensive testing process, but at least that's 2. Shut down. Vibes, depends. What screen is it? Green flickering? Is that horizontal flickering, vertical flickering, or just... Yeah. Probably it's a bad cable, which usually you've got one of your RGB lines is failing, and that's often what it is. I'm not saying it is, but it's often it. Alright, I think now it's time for me to retire for the night. I'm sorry, I know. I think we've had enough activity. And I'm happy. We've got 2 boards fixed so far, and this is a 1.8 gigahertz 4 gigabyte RAM. So we're still down on the RAM, but at least it's a nice, reasonably speedy one. Let's see, zoom out. Oh, sorry, 1.64. Okay, so it's mid-range. And because it's got the small J tag, that's a 165. Still a perfectly good board. So it's two for two. I'm pretty happy. And the nice thing is that we were able to definitively pick those faults, prove the faults. Like, you know, the first one we had the 3 beeps of RAM, which I couldn't hear, and we had a massive bloom of corrosion under that RAM chip. So, yeah, that was fixed. We has to go through testing, obviously, make sure the RAM's okay, but the fault was found, the fault was fixed. And then this one, we had the SMC running fast, complaining because it couldn't get the temperature sensors and there was no speaker showing up. So that made me think, okay, we've got a problem with the communication between the main board and the daughter board, because on the 1466s, your audio chip is on here. So that's how you know that it's probably going to be some problem in this interconnect. Now, I knew that the flex was okay and I knew the DC in board was okay, which basically just left me the main board. So once again, solved. Alright, I am out of here. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, as always. And of course, you know, I recommend you subscribe simply because, I don't know, it makes me feel better to see my subscriber numbers goes up. And, well, you might get to hear when I'm on live next. We still have a few more boards to go. We've got this many to go. So maybe tomorrow. Until then, you'll take care. I'll see you later.